Yes, bye. What a day! What a day it's been. A rather never-ending story of a day. Aurori. Or rather poory. In terms of the rain. But the rain is a lesson for me, and without a lesson for me, I'd still be running in place at the base of the mountain of Purgatory. See, I'm so much better. But that's why I need to practice my tongue, my words, in my mouth instead of with my thumbs. Just my thumbs. The rhythm is so easy. You just see it there, and when it's wrong, you just look, and you see where it's wrong, and you fix it, because it's always there. But the spoken word, and this is where I was recently blown away at, how basically comedians are like the samurai of the modern sword arts, seeing as the modern sword arts are with word swords and not with katanas and long swords and such and things and such stuff. Thus be thus. So, what first? Oh yeah, it was a cool thing first before I get into another horrible failure that kind of sent me scuttling down to the base of the mountain. Well, it was rather insidiously impressive how they did it. Let's go to that first, actually. It kind of goes into everything. It all began with that podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, which Joseph Rogan is kind of like my spiritual father, one could say. Mr. Ra, L of heaven and the sun. Rogan. Joseph L. He's a nice feller. He's definitely an ascended one, a master. Although, I think we all pick something to be specialized in when we're like us and we come here. And so he's like, his word sword art is specialized and his fighting art is specialized. He was kind of like in a good situation to do an assortment of things. Whereas I'm in that specialized point where I start getting shitty at other things that are like worse than normal people's average point. Like speaking unto people. That used to be the biggest one. It's still kind of a big one. Just because of the major problemy sense that whenever I'm around people's energies, I find it really difficult not to focus on those energies, and generally those energies are all full of negativities and they seep into me and make me feel negativities. Even on text. So, that's what I'm having to learn, like even as I'm walking around, or right now I'm sitting around, but even as cars drive by me, I want to feel self-conscious of them and think about them. Feel them, not even think about them, I feel them. It's like I'm sitting here, I just felt that car drive by, and I felt it on the left of me, going in a certain motion. Which brings me to another one of the cool things that happened in this long day that's now 2 nights long and 3 days beginning 3rd day long. Yeah, earlier today, I was, technically yesterday, I guess, driving with my family. Silent as can be. Not a mouse in the truck, nor a peep or squeak from weak kids in parency. See, that's one, would have got way better if I looked at it. Because I don't actually think of these things I say or these things I thumb. I just, I just do things. And then I'm like, sometimes I'll go, why did I even say that? Why did I even type that? Generally not typing, because it's different. Speaking. It's a lot better too, speaking. Like, for example, what I was trying to tell there with my family. Awkward as can be, as normal. We're also different, like as if a family, like less close than roommates I've lived with. And those roommates and I weren't very close either. And it's like there's love there, but we're all just so caught up in our own neuropathies. Where we're like a house. I know what I said to my sister was, it's like we're a house of roommates who don't even share the same first language. That's what it feels like sometimes. And one of the languages gets on everybody's nerves, but he's the one who is the patriarch of the house and feels like it's okay to just thrust his bulbous, obtuse, oppressive personality onto people who are just around him. And I hope he doesn't consciously do it, but I swear ever since I've been waking up, it's like he's literally been embodying the accuser, and like he enjoys it all too much, and it's not good. because he used to walk with God back when, he was told by God to name me what he named me, and back when he was much worse off than I was in my drug using, because when I was using drugs, the hard drugs were always pretty boring to me. What I liked was psychedelics, which are kind of self-regulating, but he was escaping because of a bad family tree that he fixity for me and my other siblings. Even though, he's not perfect, but he's way better than his parents were. And what was I saying? So with my family, I don't know where I was going with the tangent with my dad. That's neither here nor there, or maybe it is elsewhere here or there, this or that. Fuck shit stack. But with my family in the vehicle, we were driving because someone was looking at the house we're renting, because the owner of the house wants to sell it to a different owner of the house who's still going to let us rent it, just changing masters, the norm. And so we're driving, doesn't even matter. Oh yeah, the Dairy Queen, which actually also made me anxious, because I used to work at the Canadian Tire right beside that Dairy Queen, and I was like, what if I go in there and I see old co-workers? Oh, woe is me, how that's going to make me feel, because I like to wear pajamas because I like pajamas. But then if people I used to work with see me in pajamas, they're going to say, oh, what a slob, he's in pajamas. And I have to make myself look like a derp when I'm around these automaton sleeping sheeps. Not to be rude, some of them are nice sheeps, and some of them don't snore. Some of them, do helpful automaton-y things. Almost even seem sentient sometimes. So that's a tangent where it would have been nice to read up and see what my main point was, where I put my little two lines or 3 lines saying, hey, this is where you started tangenting, come back from here. Either way, main point, driving with the family tree, everyone except Brother Canely. Although I actually found out that I was kind of more the Canely one. In fact, I think I killed him with my word swords, because he was so depressed for so long, until finally, recently, I realized when he was walking, I was upstairs at the kitchen table, eating something. I was eating something, not trying to be quiet, but I was thinking in my mind, I would like him not to see me, because I heard him coming up the stairs, and any time he came around, his energy just seeped into me, and it was so paranoid and scary, scared of me. And I was scared of the monster in me that wanted to come out at his ignorance, hate-filled stupidity. So, it wasn't nice. I don't like that shit. I only enjoy cutting down silly people when I don't... Well, I was going to say when I don't love them, but that's not quite it. It's more when I don't think they don't deserve it, I suppose. Something like that. Like my brother Caleb, I didn't feel like he deserved it. I regretted how mad I got, which it was kind of another trial by fire, although that was while I was still in the inferno, so failure there really ate me up. But once you get into this purgatory place, last night, I basically had a nap when my body just typed whatever the hell I rambled about all night. No idea what I typed. Seems like probably a lot of drama and pointless bullshit, but I guess that's the feelings that my heart was griping with then. Before I got it. Okay. Now let me tell this family tree thing, because it's a good story. So we park at Dairy Queen. Yeah, I was feeling bad about Canadian Tire, about co-workers seeing, but I didn't even have to go in, because I had my dog with me, our family's dog, but I call him mine because I do everything with him. I take care of the fella, and he's taking care of me. So I stay in the vehicle with my dog. Well, the family goes in to get ice cream in Dairy Queen. Oh yeah, and my dad didn't even go to the Dairy Queen that I used to work with either. He drove to a different one, not because I asked, but I was thinking to myself, I hope he does, and he did. And that kind of brings me to what happens later in the part of this good story, if I get to it ever. But he, another tangent, sorry, but tangents gotta come when they gotta come. I just say what comes into my brain and say what I gotta say to make it go away. Drugs also help with that. But, funny, some people would say drugs are the cause of that, but those people ain't never been in my brain. Drugs are definitely a help for that. Maybe they can cause it, but for whatever I am, they're a help. I bet Elon Musk would feel the same way, but he's more focused, much like Joseph L. Elon Musk is engineering, whereas I am personality-minded-y, to figure out the nature of good and evil. Not long bottom, but good and evil, actually. And everything else that falls in that same appleish tree. All the emotions, and that's what I've been, I mean, if you could say what I've been doing my whole life has been entertaining myself, and all entertainment is the stories of emotions. And it's like when you're watching something, even as you're watching me now, like what are you doing? You're looking at me, and you're feeling the emotions I'm sending at you with my tone of words, with my word choice, with the concepts behind the barks that are my word choices, that you happen to know what they mean. My facial expressions, eyebrow thingies, the vibes that we send into our eyes as we're looking. And so people making films, they've made an art out of it, and they capture exactly what they want to show, and it can even go like God mode and synchronistically angle things. These glasses drive me crazy, but the cinematography comes in big handy. I can't wait till I get laser eye surgery or contacts again. That tangent will be dead now. So I think we're at the point now, the story I'm trying to tell. I think Muse is going to let me. Family's gone in to get ice cream. Me and Brianna, my sister, be there. And we feel close. I actually kind of feel like a weird, like, Horus, Osiris, Isis kind of thing, which I mean, it's technically like an incest thingy, but like I know that's in this world simulation we're in, that's a no-no. But I think where we come from, obviously, actually, like God being three, that is many, and we, and ye, and me, and Jesus even says, and I think it's like John 17 or 23, it's definitely one of those two. And I could check, but I'm not going to right now. Maybe later. Someone could remind me. It would be nice about having a followers out. Okay, many tangents deep. But not a meat-beating assistant. I think that was the last message I sent. Okay, let me tell this Brianna thing. Yeah, so we're close. We were close before. Like, we're as close as my siblings and I are, any of them. She's my closest right now, since Caleb and I are still fighting. Even though, I mean, we're just not made up now, but no longer is the bad vibes between us, so that's a start. It ain't easy walking, Jack. It ain't for the sensitive souls, no. Do you really want to know? With all my heart. With all his heart. Well, that's a start. That's the Hadestown song. You guys should listen to Hadestown. I think I need to listen to it and doing a song along. I haven't said that before. Schlong, salt, schlalomly, slongs, schlong, along. Oh, man, maybe those aren't the best words to use for. They just feel really nice to type, and they look pretty. Honestly, I don't often read words. Sometimes I just look at them and draw out the concepts in there, which makes me a good interpreter, scribe, prophet-y thing. Unless still I'd be most cleverly deceiving you things, which would be a funny way to go about doing it. I think I would just sooner be a tarot reader and a medium, and maybe a mortgage broker, stock investor. Okay, gee whiz, we're gonna tell this story, guys, and then we're gonna do another 2 or 3 more. So, Brianna and I, vehicle. We're as close as any other siblings and I. The closest, now that Caleb and I are fighting, because we're wise guys. And so, everyone leaves, and Brianna immediately, like, pretty cheerfully, which is kind of odd for she, because she's been kind of depressed as of lately, in theory. Like, self-harmingly. Not to... I hesitate on describing things with family members, so actually I'm not going to, like, say why all she's depressedly, or was. But she was really happy then, and she asked me how I was doing. And I was like, I hadn't slept the night before then, and I had to be out, so I was, like, super tired, and even when she asked me that, I kind of almost wanted to cry. Like, I was like, whoa, family's actually asking, like, a caring question, interesting. So I kind of was like, yeah, I stayed up all night, but overall, not too bad. How about you? And I've never been asked a better question in person in all this person's years of being here in this skin, this thirsty soul. She said, do you ever wonder if everything is fake and that we live in the Matrix? And any follower of mine could think to, like, I have 2 people who I'm, like, chat followers on my Reddit, who I have, like, a personal kind of relationship with that I won't share anything, but they just came through chaos. One I commented on both of their posts, totally different communities, and part of the dozens and dozens of posts I comment on every week, and these ones in particular messaged me for some reason, and then going on talking, I just sensed these vibes from people, even from their texts. And with one of them, actually, it was so intense that I had to like tell them, hey, I'm gonna go step away for a bit to go ground. So it was the same kind of vibes as when the muse was flowing through me in First Inspirations 123, which was quite an event for me, where I discovered how to use the musy to talk musically, which is much more fun than talking normally. I mean, like, I don't even know how to do proper inflection and stuff. Normally, I just like ramble, no flow, no soul. Okay, still haven't told the story. No, yeah, we got the good part. Yeah, so Brianna, the Matrix thing, and it felt so good. I was like, wow, like, quotes, normal person is into this stuff, thinking these thoughts. And we didn't have too much time to talk about it, but we got to like actually have a real, honest, non-small talk, non-bullshit, non-oppression, non-unconsensual conversation. Because I don't know if everyone else experiences this, but certain people in my life can oppress with their very personalities because they're very boisterous, and it's like they flood their energy out as if it's like a blanket, and they do it by like singing really loudly while like paying attention to everyone around. And in theory, it's it's like, oh, how dare your dad sing in his own house and pay attention to you while you're around him. But it's like, that's not bad in itself. But then he'll say, he'll start singing the lyrics towards you, like about you, at you. Sometimes being like, hey Josh, or like asking questions. And you would think when you show, I don't know, that you're not digging it, because he's almost like a bully, but in a lovable way, because bullying, there's a line between being mean and being, like loving, like jazzing, razzing. I was never very, I wasn't one with the boys back then, and so that wasn't really my thing. I was kind of, until like grade 7 when I met the people in my third city, fourth school. Yeah, I think third city, fourth school for grade 7. I finally stopped crying about everything, but even then I was still, until like 20, where I remember when I left that city over a decade later, in Newfoundland, when we had this dog I have now. He was so much more yappier then, and I didn't know how to make him stop. I didn't know how to communicate to him then. Now I get it. That'll be another topic. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But my grandpa-in-law, my grandpa-in-law, he didn't like the barking. He's like, well, just, give him a smack. And then I found it after, and I should have known this then. This kind of ties in good to the what I'm even here to talk about today in the first place. Is he came over pretending to look menacingly, staring down dog Maximus. Oh, one tweet wee. Tweety wee. Okay, I'm not saying that again. So he comes over like that, and Max is getting all like uncomfortable, whining a bit and looking at me, and I'm like, I wanted to say like, hey, like, fuck off, look what you're doing to my dog. My dog doesn't like that. And instead I just like got emotions instead of anger, just water. I had too much water then, no fire. And so I just cried, and then instead I didn't just sit there crying, weeping. Like, tears are coming and I'm holding them back, and I can't say anything, because if I start talking, then I'll just for sure start like actually crying. So I just pick up my old dog, who was on my lap anyways, because he's a wee little thing, and we left. And then afterwards, Grandpa-in-law was like, hey, I'm sorry, if you got mad at me. He's like, well, he was kind of joking, jazzing, razzing then too. He's like, you're mad at me still, but then after he saw, which is what you should be like after he actually saw, whoa, he is mad at me, he gave genuine apology. And when you can see in someone's eyes that they're like, whoa, I just upset you, I didn't mean to, then the nice thing and the rational thing is like, oh, I really appreciate that, I'm no longer mad at you. But old Daddy-O in my house, the patriarch of the place, blind man now who could see before but is now blind again, mentioned in the Bible. There's always these weird two random fuckers everywhere that Jesus just stops on the side of the road. Hey, there's the two blind men, let them see. One of them can see, the other one ain't gonna see. So one of them gets his legs braked, the other one gets set free. Sad, sad tragedy, most truthfully, truly. So back to Brianna, because I don't know where I was going to fuck with that. I quite dug that she was into that. Yeah, we were driving when the rest of the family came back, then we got all quiet again. But then it's like, curiously, I felt like she was feeling out me with her energy feelies, and I was feeling out her reality probability with my energy feelies, which I'd never done before. But it's like, as I focused on her the same way like I'm forced to focus on cars or things that go around me, or even that sound I hear now, I did that on her energy, which normally I don't do, because normally people's energy makes me uncomfortable, see. But since she was looking at me and smiling so lovingly and asking questions and talking to me honestly, we bonded a little bitsy. And so, then what? Then the whole drive, it's like we were playing in that energy area, kind of similar to how the two producers were most cleverly designed it. I wonder how they did it. They had scripts. I guess they were improvising, but it's like was it purely off intuition that they were going off of? That's madness if so, because there was one point where Whitney, name dropped, she, oh man, you guys are gonna find me out now. She, basically did what I'm doing right now, kept stuttering and not starting the point, and I swear she did this for so long, and it was until I finally started paying attention, because I was typing things and comments to them and like being a crazy person with crazed intention. And so she, but then when I even like typed, the last thing I typed when she was rambling, I guess purposely, improvisationally, that's crazy, there's a little sound like that, I just randomly do a tongue wiggle, and then I forgot my train of thought. Whitney, rambly, something happened after that, I guess. Then she stopped. Oh yeah, when I paid attention, she stopped rambling. I think I said that already, and I thought I didn't need to stop, or whatever. So Brianna, we're driving, we're playing like that in synchronistically kind of a way. It's almost like a teasing kind of way is what she was doing, because she was like really like main narrative, talking to my younger brother, but meta narrative, I felt her energy on me, and then that one can wonder, well, are you just crazy? You're a looker. You're watching a podcast and thinking they're talking about you. They clearly said they're talking about this and that and such and such. Well, guys, you gotta read between the lines. Not everything is just written plain for you to see, and if it was, well, this would be pretty boring, see. Reality. Pretty boring reality to be we here in B. Again, I don't sit here and say to myself, I want to make a bunch of rhymes just then, the muse just sends them out of me, and that's why you see me sometimes smiling like a derp at it, because I'm like, whoa, look at the rhymes coming out of me. I always liked rhyming. I did. Remember my first intellectual love in high school, girl that was actually into things, thinking. God knows where I was going with that. Again, but that's why I got to keep practicing this tongue wagging, because looking at the way that comedians do it, those two producers were, at the very least, they had improv scripts, because they were going off of what I was typing and what I was thinking, which sounds unbelievable. And you might again be like, oh, you crazy person, you be blinking thusly. But I know I can understand these conditions a bit, and people who are sinking and drowning in them don't stay clear-headed and collected like I say I am now, in this state I'm in right now. Even when I wasn't really liking what was happening, I never left this state. I haven't left it really all day, other than maybe when I feel awkward and I'm self-conscious. That's the worst feeling I get these days. These days is okay. A little bit more about the breathing. Driving, we saw when everyone was with us, we're driving, and she's doing that stuff, and I'm just kind of feeling really good, because our energies are as if we both were like flames. They were feeding off each other and growing, and she was really happy too, and increasing in wellness, it seemed. And then this what do you call it, a scooter, I guess, that looked like a midget scooter, but not quite. It was 9 3/4 scooter, and my mom was like, that doesn't look real. And then I said just loudly, that's because it's not real. And then Brianna had like a little giggle. And I was like, wow, look what can be done. Like, I'm radioactive apparently, son, because she definitely wasn't thinking that kind of stuff before I threw myself into the sun. Whoops, 2 different suns. I can do that. Dr. Seuss in this bitch. So, yeah, and then we saw it again, and I was like, man, it must be a bug. And I like inside jokes. And verily, the Mad God does most indubitably too. So, later that day, I got a big synchronicity message. I looked at one thing and it said, it was just like a bunch of things. The first thing I looked at saying to do a thing that was related to messaging friends. And it led me kind of down a windy road to just, what did I wind up messaging her on? I just texted her normally, but because of the windy road, it made me think about it, and I wound up doing kind of a parable like I do all my words in, even though my parables are often Discordianisms, so it's not so much a logical parable as it is interpreting what the hell kind of things I just put on the page mean. And they typically mean many a different thing each. And so I guess that's what I was rambling about a bit last night, ranting and raving, maybe not raving, but definitely ranting, was the insults, which I know were purposeful, and I can't believe I didn't notice them at first in the podcast. It was just like, that was the point, was to show me how naive and stupid I am, which is what I asked to be shown, but how I am in conversation. Just don't even notice anything. I was just like getting high off the fumes. I feel like walking, but I'm too self-conscious to walk and talk. I don't want to stop the video. I've got a lot more to talk about. I may have a cigarette instead. I guess I like to make random singing too, but if I were to be around people, I don't. Well, people that I'm thinking about. I suppose there's the people over there, but far away. Okay, so last thing with the Bree. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I stopped using my headphones because I didn't think they were very good. It'd be funny if this is even worse. It feels weird to hold the thing this close, but then hard to get a good perspective here. I don't know if you hear me there. Here is the best, but then my arm gets tired. And as you can see, I haven't lost my mind, even though I've been awake a little while and some of my messages seemed a little passionately inspired. Here's what I mean. These things come over me, and I don't even really decide them to. Like, even when I was responding to all those messages with the 2 producers, I don't know where those things I said came from. Like, I just get emotions and intuition and will. It moves me through levels in a game, and now the levels get so weird. But I don't think I'm unique. I think I'm different, kind of like how ascended peoples are. But I think that's just because I've been here a while, I guess, and I think everyone can. Right now we're helping the monkeys do it. You monkeys drive me fucking crazy. Drive me to eat my own lung flesh. But I like you guys too. That's why I'm here. Cool shit. And, throw it at each other. Blow yourselves up. Clusterfuck. Bukakio cuck. Nuffle said. So I basically just gave my sister a rabbit hole to go down, and then I got to hear laughing, which made me feel good. Like, I heard as if her and her friends were, finding my humor hilarious, which I guess is what the comedians like too. which is nice to hear. I always thought I was kind of a comedian at heart, but I never had the word skill to actually do it because, well, as us can see, I guess here it's not too bad, but put me in front of eyes that are looking at me and feeding me energy, and it'll be way different. As you noticed reading my texts, because I get the same energy even from text. Just goes to say how this world truly is, and eventually I will start teaching how this is, because I'll know. Right now, though, assuming I make it to the top of the mountain, because I'm not already there. It's a cool thought. Some people are. I'm not. I gotta climb that bitch. I need to read Dante's, because I know there's a lot of useful stuff, like these people who are trying to go so quick that they move like a snail inch by inch, and that's what one of the songs in the album About My Life by Sage Francis is even called Slow Person, which makes me think of my first MD and second and best MDMA trips, where we're gonna go like a sloth, just to not get overwhelmed. Which if I could do that, because I keep thinking I'm on a ticking clock, I gotta rush through, which I guess is what you guys said. I even disagreed then. I was like, no, take my time. You guys don't know me. Yeah, you guessed all these weird things about me, but you don't know me. That was another lesson, it's like, don't just accept the good synchronicities, you fucking dimwitch, like, accept them all. Pay attention to everything, even the things you don't like. That's the whole point. That's how you overcome. If you don't have something bad to overcome, you're not going to overcome anything. You're just going to uncome and get worse some, and then have something to overcome. But then you're probably running in place at a snail's pace, inch every lifetime, even in purgatory. But at least you're not in hell then. Inferno ain't nice. No sir. No likes. But had to do, as you will see, in Bieberham becoming Bibram again. Not vice versa, maybe vice versa less. Oh, I could probably talk here for way too long. I like not being in my house's energy. So again, Dad's energy, being Mr. Baldy incarnate, and I bet he's probably his biggest advocacy, seeing as he was once a holy manny of the house of David, like me. Bitch, drop the mic. Trismegistus out. No, I just kid. I still got more to say. Jesus. It's not good to laugh at myself. I literally saw in my eyes there not genuineness. I tried to be genuine, but that laugh was me thinking I should laugh. Terrible. Terrible shit. But those are the sins of purgatory compared to the evil shit of hell, where you get in the land of hungry ghosts. You don't get in that up here. It's rather nice. I might have toast. So, just say the lessons now that I learned, because that's the whole point, is that's how I got on this thing, is even that's one of the songs of life says, is he knows what he did was wrong. He knows what he did was wrong. He's dun 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 dun. I don't remember the words yet, son, but it goes like that beat that I've said a lot of my things on. You guys should listen to it. But I digress. What did I learn? Obviously, the old attachments. I love feminine love. Whitney, oh, you got me. You got me thrice. Evil, but fun, funny. What a life. Like, and still, I don't think well, it'd be funny if you didn't know at all what you're doing, and then you see all those things, and you're like, whoa, what a crazy person. That would be funny, but it's okay if you do that. That's what I need to do, is not care either way. Just be me. See what happens. What else did I learn? I don't remember, and I want to leave. I don't like standing in the same place. I feel like I'm being looked at. Funny, sunny. I did learn some other things. I'll make a Reddit post. Here's to the most highest Holy Ghost. Blessings upon y'all, thee that findeth mine posts. Peace.